All right. Frank Warren says Eddie Hearn is full of it. That fight between Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz must happen in the United States because the zone is going to insist that that's the case. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. And also the WBA and the WBC say that they're going to work together to make the Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder fight happen, coming up in this video. All right, first things first. Look, common sense should have told people this, and it hasn't come all the way to fruition yet, but common sense should tell you that this fight between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz is more than likely going to happen in the United States. Now, Frank Warren is a promoter of Tyson Fury, a well-known, very well-respected promoter in the UK, says that DAZN is going to force them to make that fight in the United States, and that all this talk about the Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua deal taking place in the UK is just a bunch of, it's just a bunch of talk, which makes absolute complete sense because DAZN is going to want that fight in prime time because they were the ones that foot the bill on the last fight. So it makes it, now this is Frank Warren's logic, that if DAZN put up the money for the first fight and now the second fight will probably be a lot bigger than the first fight was. Now, that's something that people have said, and I gotta agree with. People who are Anthony Joshua fans have said, and I gotta agree with it, that the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, or since Andy Ruiz is the champion, Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua fight is going to take place more than likely. It's going to be bigger than the first fight because the first fight was a big upset. There's a lot of brouhaha about it. So it more than likely is going to garner a lot more interest than the first fight to see whether or not Anthony Joshua can redeem himself. I believe that it will probably do better numbers in the United States. It'll do better numbers than the first fight did in the UK, and it'll be a big thing. So if they have it in the middle of the afternoon in UK, if they have it in the UK and it's aired in the middle of the afternoon in the United States, there's going to be fewer people that are going to watch it because it's going to be up against other sports. And this time you're talking about in the September, October, November time frame. You've got major sports in the United States in the afternoon. So it's going to be tough for them to compete against those and get those, the most desired casual boxing fan to watch that fight without stealing it. Anyway, it's just going to be really tough if they do that over there in the UK. And I agree 100% with what Frank Warren is saying. I have my other reasons to believe that fight's not going to happen over there in the UK, like the fact that Andy Ruiz himself does have say-so in that matter, despite what a lot of people think about that. You always can walk away. And I think the last thing that anybody wants Andy Ruiz to do relative to this fight is walk away from it. Now, that said, I still believe that this is a bad fight and a bad move for Anthony Joshua. I told people in my stream that I think I did it in my stream. I'm really trying to resist the urge of really getting fully behind Anthony Joshua in his climb back to where he was in boxing. And the reason why I say that I have that inclination is because I'm a soft-hearted guy. I was an Anthony Joshua fan before all this hype and hoopla and all that stuff took place. So I'm inclined to go back to my original position that I had on Anthony Joshua, which is that I hope the best for this young man. And hoping the best for this young man means that I hope that he gets better as a boxer. It's my belief that if he gets in with Andy Ruiz again, he's gonna lose to Anthony Ruiz again. Andy Ruiz is not afraid of Anthony Joshua. He just got done beaten up and stopping, or made him quit, however you want to phrase it, Anthony Joshua. And if Anthony Joshua's head's not right, if his skills don't improve, If he doesn't come in with a better game plan, it's gonna happen again. And I wouldn't like to see that. I would like to see Anthony Joshua rebuild himself, get his game together, get his confidence back up, and then step back up there in there with the big dogs. And also, I believe that would work better for him in the long run because of what Mauricio Suleiman and the president of the WBA, I think his name is Mendoza, please forgive me. I don't script these, so sometimes I forget the name. Let me actually look over here. I do believe it is Mendoza. Yep, Gilberto Jesus Mendoza from the WBA. The fact that they said that they want to see a Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz fight. Now, if there is an Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz fight that takes place, then those belts, 2 of those belts are going to be unified, or 3 of those belts are going to be unified at the least. I still do believe that the WBO will find a way to do whatever Bob orders. And more than likely, Tyson Fury was going to wind up with that WBO belt. That's just me looking in the Fanon crystal ball, watching how the WBO operates. If Anthony Joshua takes his time, get some easy fights underneath his belt, underneath his belt, under his belt. How do you say that? If he takes some easy fights, knocks some dudes out, gets his confidence together, figures out, what he's doing that made him lose to Andy Ruiz, whatever those, the boxing experts, real boxing experts say, right? In-ring boxing experts say he needs to do to come back. He could find himself in a situation where he's a better fighter fighting against somebody who's the unified champion, which in my opinion, more than likely is going to be Deontay Wilder. There's a chance that it could be Tyson Fury. I don't believe it's going to be Andy Ruiz, but those 3 fights could happen, and Anthony Joshua could pop out the top that way and get a shot for all 4 belts because he is a money earner. He is definitely a very good heavyweight and deserves to be in the position that he's in. But the way that his mind is right now, I just do not believe that and his skill set is that he's going to be able to beat Andy Ruiz. And if he loses to Andy Ruiz, it's a wrap for the young man. It's just a wrap. So, we'll see what happens. But as far as this fight goes, the fight that Eddie Hearn for some reason is insisting this guy take, and DAZN is going to be insisting that this guy take, it's not going to look good. It's going to be it could be a one and done type of situation. You fight Andy Ruiz, you get beat up again, and your career is a wrap. Andy Ruiz is a bad matchup for this guy. He's a better fighter. He's a smarter fighter. Anthony Joshua is not going to grow a chin. Anthony Joshua's got to be, to a certain degree, afraid of this guy because the guy's already beat him every way from Sunday. One of the things that Tyson Fury did by not fighting Deontay Wilder right away in a rematch was probably a smart move for Tyson Fury. Despite all of the people trying to give Tyson Fury a moral victory, Tyson Fury realized that he was unconscious in that 12th round. He was also knocked down several rounds before that, and I believe, and I have a suspicion that Tyson Fury knows that he was knocked down a 3rd time, that Jack Reese called a slip. So by getting several fights under his belt and getting a chance to be more conditioned, get more of the ring rust off, Tyson Fury will probably be in a better situation against Deontay Wilder. Not good enough, I don't think, to keep him from getting put unconscious again, but hey, better than if he would have hopped right back in there with his senses scrambled. Anthony Joshua needs to take the same route that Tyson Fury took, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for the same reason that Anthony Joshua got all those belts that quick to begin with. Eddie Hearn, in my opinion, is about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is about matchroom boxing. And Eddie Hearn and matchroom boxing are about their relationship with DAZN. And DAZN is going to push for this fight to happen soon because the Zone, their boxing unit, their US unit, however they divide that organization is split up, is under pressure to produce in boxing. And Anthony Joshua was somebody that they gambled a lot of money on and they crapped on. And they crapped out. Threw them bones and crapped out. Snake eyes, whatever however you play that game. So, we'll see what happens. I don't think he should do it, but if they do it, they're gonna do that rematch in America. I'm certainly hoping that the WBA and the WBC are able to order the Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder fight and have those guys come together and fight with all the belts on the line, and that one of those don't slip away, because Bob ordered it to go over there to Tyson Fury. So anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.